Hello friends. Welcome back again on the I Have a Vision Academy YouTube channel. In short, I Have Academy. So in today's class, without wasting any further time, let's jump straight to plate tectonics theory. So first of all, give it the heading plate tectonics theory. I have to make the world map. So that's why जगह थोड़ी कम पड़ जाएगी, इसे मैं लिख नहीं रहा. But in your notes, please mention plate tectonics theory. So in the previous class, if you remember correctly, थोड़ा सा साइड में लिख लेते हैं. What is called lithospheric slab or plate? If you remember the previous classes, it is the crust plus upper part of upper mantle, which is nothing but asthenosphere. So this is lithospheric slab or lithospheric plates. Now these lithospheric plates are various in number. If I make the world map here, so Picasso drawing थोड़ा समझ आ रहा होगा आपको वर्ल्ड में. So now these lithospheric plates are various in number, and these can be subcategorized into major plates as well as minor plates. So major plates are very large, minor are very small. So if I count you the major plates, so first is this Pacific plate. If you have atlas in your hands, please see the some end pages of atlas. So this is the first plate known as Pacific plate, which is totally oceanic. By some plates can be oceanic, some plates can be continental, and the last category is the mixed plates. So most of the plates come into the category of mixed plates. It means partly oceanic, partly continental. One plate, exclusively Pacific plate, will come into the oceanic part, and this Eurasian plate is largely continental, not totally but largely continental. So this plate that you can see, this whole plate, is the second, which is Eurasian, which is largely continental. Then we have two continents, North America and South America. So these two plates are numbered third and fourth. Now this is not the whole world map because I haven't drawn this thing. Now it is whole world map. This is the fifth plate, the Arctica and Antarctica. This region is the sixth plate which is known as अफ्रीका कॉन्टिनेंट. तो सारा तो कवर हो गया, बच क्या गया, एक छोटी सी बात बच गई. दिस इज येट अनदर प्लेट. यहाँ ये थोड़ा पैसिफिक थोड़ा उस साइड कर लेना. दिस इज आवर ऑस्ट्रेलिया. सो दिस इज yet another plate which is the last major plate, 7 number, Indo-Australian plate. Please put your all concentration on board in today's class because this is the very basics, and if you have grasp on these basic things then geography is very easy. And also you have to use your common sense. The ideas, the maps that I am drawing, please see it in atlas also, and remember all the things that I am saying here. Not even single word is फालतू नहीं है, समझ आया करो. So we have seen the 7 major plates, totally oceanic, Pacific, largely continental, Eurasian, the rest of all mix. Third is North America, South America, Antarctica, Africa, and Indo-Oceanian plates. Now I have told you what is the lithospheric plate, the crust and upper part of upper mantle, that is nothing called but asthenosphere. Now as I have told you, this asthenosphere is jelly like structure. So these plates kept on moving. Understood? So the movement of these plates and the outcome and effects of the movement of these plates, if we study all these things, it is known as plate tectonic theory. Various scientists has amalgamated the previous theories to come at this conclusion, that is plate tectonics theory. So this is the widely and mostly accepted theory till today. आगे देखते हैं, कुछ अच्छा एक्सपेरिमेंट हो गया, कुछ अच्छा हमको एविडेंस मिल गए तो बहुत ही अच्छी बात है. इसको भी हम एज अ पास्ट हिस्ट्री पढ़ने वाले हैं. Now I have told you what is the plate tectonics theory, the study of the movement of plates, their effects and their resultant outcomes. So one phrase is there, resultant outcomes. Now we will study the resultant outcomes of this. Actually I will be needing this world map again and again. So थोड़ा यहाँ या यहाँ कहीं देखते हैं लिख के, ठीक है. So now we will have the 3 type of plate boundaries. Why we are studying plate boundaries? Because these resultant effects and outcomes will be largely seen at the plate margins. ठीक है, कॉर्नर ऑफ 2 प्लेट्स के बीच में हमको ये सब ज़्यादातर चीज़ें दिखेगी. मिटाई देते हैं, अच्छे से लिखेंगे. So we have 3 types of plate margins. So first is continental, second is oceanic continental, which is the most common, and the third one is the oceanic, yeah, सही तो है. So oceanic, एंड फोर्थ वन भी हो सकती है क्या, कॉन्टिनेंटल ओशनिक? नो, इट विल बी कवर्ड इन दिस पार्ट. So as I have told you, this last one is not of a practical importance. Why? Because mostly we have mixed plates. No two plates are oceanic in nature fully. So yes, we will study something under this, but these processes or these resultants are not that much as large as the resultant of both these two. So we will start from oceanic continental convergence because it is the most common. अच्छा, the moment I have rubbed this world map, मेरे को एक छोटा सा बल्ब चमका साइड में कि I haven't told you the minor plates. So minor plates अब वापस तो बनाऊंगा नहीं पूरा डायग्राम because it is a waste of time. So आप देखिए, we have Juan de Fuca plate. Open your atlases. यहाँ हमारे पास कोई नॉर्थ अमेरिका था. सो एट द अपर पार्ट ऑफ नॉर्थ अमेरिका वी हैव जुआन दे फूका प्लेट. सो दैट इज द एग्जांपल ऑफ माइनर प्लेट. देन वी हैव एट द कैलिफोर्निया रिज, द कैलिफोर्निया आर्म ऑफ नॉर्थ अमेरिका, वी हैव कोकोस प्लेट. देन we have here the Arabian plate, the whole of Arabian peninsula. Then here in the Asia we have Philippines plate, then Burma, Myanmar plate. So these are all the examples of minor plates. In the South America we have here a Nazca plate. Understood? All are at the periphery of the continent of Americas and towards the Pacific Ocean. Understood? So these are the minor plates. Now let us start with the continental oceanic convergence. आज धीरे धीरे ना चीज़ें भूलते जा रहा हूँ. I haven't told you what is the convergent plate boundary or divergent plate boundary. So looking at the movement of the two plates, we can decide whether a plate boundary is convergent or divergent. If two plates are coming close to each other, then we have to focus upon the area between these two plates. मान लीजिए if I put a rubber toy here and these two plates are coming towards each other, so this rubber toy will get destroyed. Our focus should be on the area between the two plates, so this rubber toy will get destroyed. That's why the convergent plates are also called as destructive plate margins or plate boundaries. In another example, this is the plate and the final condition is this. It means something or this rubber toy has been reappeared. Our focus is between the plates, the area between the plates. So something has reoccurred. So it means that divergent plate boundaries are constructive. तो ऐसे आप याद कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि नहीं तो if you go by your common sense you will tend to remember these इन रिवर्स ऑर्डर. बट आपको कहाँ फोकस रखना है? आपको बीच में फोकस रखना है. अगर प्लेट्स आ रही हैं तो बीच में कुछ भी रखा होगा वो टूट जाएगा. इट मीन्स कन्वर्जेंट प्लेट्स आर डिस्ट्रक्टिव इन नेचर और डिस्ट्रक्टिव प्लेट बाउंड्रीज भी कहा जाता है. एंड द डाइवर्जेंट प्लेट बाउंड्रीज और डाइवर्जेंट प्लेट्स आर कॉल्ड कंस्ट्रक्टिव प्लेट मार्जिन्स. सो नाउ वी हैव ओशियन continent convergence. So how will it look like? Recalling the convectional current theories, this is the convergent plate boundaries. It means the two plates are coming towards each other. If the two plates are coming towards each other, it means something or some force is acting, that is moving the plates towards each other. तो हमने पढ़ा था this force is nothing called but convectional currents. Now these convectional currents under the inside of asthenosphere will flow in which direction? These are converging plates. So understood? So this is the convergent magma or convectional currents. As I have told you, whenever there is convergence, all the things that we have studied in previous theories, the seafloor spreading, the convectional current theory, all will be applied here in plate tectonics. So first of all, what are the resultant of these plate boundaries? We have fold mountains, we have earthquakes, we have explosive volcanoes, and we have trenches, also known as Benioff zone or zone of subduction. BENIOFF, Benioff zone or zone of subduction. So now concentrate here. In the previous class we have studied that oceanic plates are more denser, but width कितनी है? Only 5 kilometers. Whereas the continental plate is of more width, 35 kilometer and up to 70 kilometer under the Himalayas or old fold mountains, but particularly Himalayas. But as the density of continental plate is much lesser than the oceanic plate, so oceanic plate will tend to subduct. Understood? Now as this plate is subducting under the continental plate, ये धीरे धीरे टूटती रहेगी. Why? Because we have immense pressure and temperature beneath the Earth's crust. So that's why ये थोड़ा टूटती रहेगी, और जैसे जैसे ये एस्थेनोस्फीयर के पास पहुंचेगी, the moment it approaches towards the asthenosphere, it will start vaporizing into molten magma, और यही मैग्मा ऊपर से ही आ जाएगा हमारे ओल्ड फोल्ड माउंटेन्स में. हाउ आर दिस ओल्ड फोल्ड माउंटेन्स क्रिएटेड? Due to the collision of these two plates. It is not like that the moment or the instant they collided, this oceanic plate will subduct. No, it will offer some resistance to the continental plate, and this resistance will create the foldings in the Earth's crust, and now these are called as old fold mountains. So hence the old fold mountains has been created. After offering some resistance, the oceanic plate will subduct. As the temperature and pressure increases inside the Earth's crust, it means this oceanic plate will get fragmented, and then it will be converted into magma, and this magma will come out as an explosive formations. And these explosive formations, पहले हिल तो थे ही, पर्वत तो थे ही, and explosive molten magma भी हमारे पास. So explosive volcanoes. Understood? The point where the oceanic plate will get subducted under the continental plate, this particular point will be known as trenches, Benioff zone or subduction zone. As there is a movement of two large plates, such huge plates, incomparable to the size of human beings. So earthquakes will be created. Earthquake क्या होता है? We have studied in previous classes. So all these things will happen in the convergent plate boundary of ocean continental plates. Now what are the examples? अब आएंगे थोड़े real purpose पे. What are the examples? So this is समझ आ रहा है क्या? थोड़ा सा भी समझ आ रहा है तो I have achieved my purpose. So first of all we have all heard about ring of fire. So ring of fire कहाँ है? This is the ring of fire. It means the maximum amount किसकी of the location of the volcanoes will be found here. Why? Because this is the Pacific plate which is totally oceanic. This is the North America and South America continents. We have here Eurasian and Indo-Australian plate. It means on all the four sides the Pacific plate is getting subducted under all these mixed lithospheric plates. It means this phenomena will be applied on whole the margins. As this phenomena will apply to whole the margin, it means we witness the explosive volcanoes. So that's why the name is given the Pacific Ring of Fire. आपने सुना ही होगा ना. Another thing, yes, we have earthquake zones, so it is highly prone to earthquakes also. We will find trenches, so yes, we will find various trenches like here is Mindanao. एटलास में घुसे रहो अब. मैरियाना. जापान के पास कुरिल. देन हेयर नीचे इंडिया के पास वी हैव सुंदा ट्रेंच. मरियाना ट्रेंच इज द डीपेस्ट पॉइंट ऑन अर्थ. हम सबको पता ही है ये सब. टू वेरी फेमस वॉल्केनोज माउंट शास्ता एंड माउंट हुड. ढूंढते रहिए एटलास में. is in Africa, North America. Then Mount Aconcagua. सारे देखते रहिए. Mount Aconcagua. Cotopaxi is also here. I think Ecuador में. Then Californian Trench. कैली वहाँ का होता है ना स्लैंग, तो कैलिफोर्निया का क्या है? कैली ट्रेंच. ठीक है. So this is one of the examples that we have applied our theoretical knowledge into the real world. ठीक है. If you have to remember the volcanoes of Italy, तो कौन से 4 है? वोल्केनो बोलते हैं, वहाँ वोल्केनो है. इटली के बता रहा हूँ मैं. लिखते रहो साइड में नोट्स में. वोल्केनो, द फेमस एटना, द फेमस Stromboli and the famous Vesuvius. So these are the 4 major volcanoes in Italy peninsula. Now I have told you fold mountains. Now as you can see in diagram that this collision is such severe in its intensity that number of folds will be generated when this collision will take place. So the parallel fold of mountains is known as cordillera. Cordilleras. So if you see the map of North America, you will see, North America, you will see that we have Rockies mountain here. So वहाँ लिखा हुआ Rocky Cordillera. So we have Rocky Cordillera here. किसका रिजल्टेंट है? इसका रिजल्टेंट है. Then we have Rockies and Andes. So Andes is in South America. So एक्सप्लोजिव वॉल्केनोस यहाँ से आ गए और प्लेट बाउंड्रीज यहाँ कौन सी थी? अब बनाई दिया तो दिखा देता हूँ आपको. हेयर इज जुआन दे फूका विच इज अ माइनर प्लेट. देन वी हैव हेयर कैलिफोर्निया के पास कोकोस प्लेट. देन नीचे नास्का प्लेट. ठीक है. हेयर वी हैव सम फिलीपींस प्लेट. So these are all the minor plates. So combining the movements of these major and minor plates as well as this oceanic continental convergence, we will see various number of trenches, we will see the earthquakes, and we will see the Pacific Ring of Fire. Now if I will draw this map, पता नहीं आपको समझ आएगा या नहीं, फिर भी कोशिश करते हैं. ओहो गलती बन गया पूरा. अभी जगह नहीं है तो इतना सा ही देख लो. सो दिस इज समवट द मैप ऑफ अफ्रीका, है ना. तो थोड़ा सा इमेजिन कर लीजिए अभी. सो हेयर वी हैव इटली पेनिनसुला एंड हेयर वी हैव ओल्ड फोल्ड माउंटेन्स, सॉरी यंग फोल्ड माउंटेन्स, एंड दीज आर ऑल्सो यंग. इफ़ यू रिवाइज माई प्रीवियस क्लासेस आपने देख ली होगी गलती. यंग फोल्ड माउंटेन्स है ये सब. सो यंग फोल्ड माउंटेन वी हैव एल्प्स हेयर. So these Alps are also been created by the African plate as well as Eurasian plate. Now I have told you some of the young-fold mountains. Now if you are talking about young-fold mountains, another famous example is coming to your mind, Himalayas. But Himalayas are not part of this. Before you are getting to the conclusion that is Himalaya is also part of this, I have told you, according to this convergence theory, we have the explosive volcanoes. But in Himalayas, there is absence of volcanic activity. So why it is there? Because it is the function of or consequence of the continental convergence. So आपको ये सब समझ आ गया? मिटा देता हूँ. If you are getting any doubts, please type in comment section. अच्छा, द प्रीवियस स्लैब डेट आई हैव ड्रॉन, उसमें एक छोटी सी गलती हो गई थी, और वो छोटी सी गलती क्या थी आपको समझ नहीं आई होगी, बिकॉज यू आर स्टडिंग एंड लर्निंग ज्योग्राफी. द मोस्ट डिस्ट्रक्टिव हिट और द कोलिजन सबसे पहले होगा या सबसे लास्ट में? सबसे पहले होगा, बट वी आर सीइंग द एंड रिजल्ट्स। सो सबसे बड़ा माउंटेन ये वाला होना चाहिए, ये वाला ऑफकोर्सली ये वाला होना चाहिए, बिकॉज द फर्स्ट कोलिजन इज एक्सपीरियंस्ड बाय दिस माउंटेन एंड देन दिस एंड देन दिस, तभी तो उसके बाद स्टैटिक इक्विलिब्रियम में आ गया। इसको बोलते हैं आइसोस्टैटिक इक्विलिब्रियम। ठीक है, so this is first, this is second, and we have, इसी से बना देते हैं, this is not water but these are deposits. Previously these alluvium deposits have been deposited by the flow of water, then the water seepaged out, then these deposits remain in their place. So now please concentrate on the board and think about the Indian Peninsula as well as Himalayas. So वापस बना देते हैं, कन्वेक्शनल करंट्स, कन्वर्जेंस है, तो this is in the previous classes I have told you that Indian Peninsula, Arabian Peninsula is not a part of Laurasia or Angara land. So these are part of Gondwana land. So in the Mesozoic era or Mesozoic period, our Indian Peninsula started to drift towards north. As our Indian Peninsula is drifting towards north, imagine this was the previous structure and our India is, मान लीजिए here. So besides this South Africa country, you will see a small island known as Reunion hotspot. Our peninsular India is drifting towards the present position. When it comes upon this Reunion hotspot, in future classes we will study that Reunion hotspots are particular sections of earth crust where the molten magma is coming out from the asthenosphere. Understood? From deep inside the asthenosphere. अभी के लिए आप बस इतना ही समझिए. The more details we will dwell into our future classes. As soon as this Indian Peninsula comes over the Reunion hotspot, so we have the Deccan lava plateau or basaltic lava plateau, which is some part of Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, most of the Maharashtra, and some part of Karnataka. So Deccan lava plateau has been formed when the Indian plate is drifting towards the present position and it comes over the Reunion hotspot. After this, the Indian plate keeps on drifting. There is two arms of Indian plate. The first is this arm, the western arm, जो आज का जम्मू कश्मीर लद्दाख है. The second arm is the Meghalaya. So Meghalaya is the part of Peninsula India. Understood? Gujarat is part of Peninsula India. So this is whole of Peninsula India. So now this plate is drifting towards our present position. So these two arms, the first hit was taken by the first arm, the western arm. So that's why this displacement from the Tropic of Cancer or the equator is maximum. Why? Because it has experienced the greatest hit or the first hit. So that's why most push has been provided by the Indian plate on the western part. Then after tucking one point of this western half, the whole India tilted anti-clockwise and gave a push over this eastern part. That's why these Himalayas are of more northwards inclination if we compare it with the Purvanchal hills. These are known as Purvanchal hills, the northeast hills. So समझ आ गया आपको क्या हुआ था? Mesozoic era, the Indian plate drifted towards the present position. It comes over reunion hotspot at a particular period of time, thus forming the Deccan lava plateau. The Indian plate keeps on drifting. It has two arms, the western arm and the eastern arm. The first hit or collision was experienced by the western arm, giving maximum push to the Eurasian plate. Thus, after tucking of the western arm, whole Indian peninsula rotated anti-clockwise, and the second hit has been taken place on the eastern arm. As these are very powerful collisions, we have two syntaxial bends or hairpin bends over these two positions. That's why the position of Indus and Brahmaputra changes very abruptly if you see the atlas. तो अब आपको समझ में आया क्यों है? इसलिए now when this Indian plate is drifted towards the present position, तो तब तो यहाँ कुछ तो था, तो क्या था यहाँ? वाटर, और वाटर बिटवीन द टू कॉन्टिनेंट्स इन द हिस्टोरिक era, it is known as, I have told you, the Tethys Sea, Tethys Geosync Line, after the separation of Gondwana as well as Angara land. Tethys Geosync Line or Tethys Sea has been created. So when this before this first push of the western part, there is sea in between them. So that's why this sea has been elevated. Understood? This sea has been elevated. थोड़ा बेवकूफ़पना लग रहा होगा, पर जब कोलिजन हुआ तो ये सी भी उसी के साथ उड़ गई. बट एविडेंसेस देखिए. Recently, a very famous lake was in news, Somoriri, Pangangso. How are these lakes saline in nature up to that particular height? Because it contains sea water. So that's why we are able to exemplify the Tethys Sea upliftment. Second of all, at the top of the Himalayas, we will see the marine deposits. तो आपको कैसे मिलते हो? Yes, because before the collision there was Tethys Sea between the Indian plate as well as Eurasian plate. Now there is sea. तो आपके दिमाग में खुद ही चल जाना चाहिए, बट सर वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट कॉन्टिनेंटल कन्वर्जेंस. इफ देयर इज सम पार्ट ऑफ ओशन बिटवीन द यूरेशियन प्लेट एज वेल एज इंडियन प्लेट, सो व्हाई द हिमालयाज डजंट हैव द वॉल्केनिक एक्टिविटी? अभी तो हमने पढ़ा, तो अभी पूरी फैक्ट खत्म नहीं हुआ, फैक्चुअल लेक्चर. आई हैव टोल्ड यू दिस पर्टिकुलर पार्ट will have the first hit or the maximum hit. So formation of one of the greatest height Himalayas, which is known as Trans Himalayas. So these Trans Himalayas are indeed volcanic in nature, and these are not part of our Himalayan system. The second is, now from here we have Himalayas. ठीक है. Then फिर वही है हमारे पास middle Himalayas, then outer Himalayas, middle or lower Himalayas, then outer Himalayas or Shivaliks. So further bifurcation we will be studying in the Indian geography. Moreover, another example, we will find the fossils of the previous organisms. The same organisms fossils have been found in India as well as in Tibet region. So as I have told you, और नहीं पता तो अभी सुन लो, the Tibet plateau or Tibetan plateau is known as the rooftop or table roof of the होल अर्थ। इतनी ज़्यादा हाइट पे है प्लाटू, सबसे ग्रेटेस्ट हाइट पे है प्लाटू। सो हाउ कम्स the fossils of the same organisms can be found at such a great height and at such a lower height? Yes, it means once the Tibetan plateau is of the same height as that of India, but after the collision, the intensity of the collision has uplifted the Tibetan plateau. So this was the whole theory of the continental convergence, and the most specific point जो कि मैं भूल गया आपको बताना, बट मैंने आपको प्रीवियस क्लासेस में बताया हुआ है, इस क्लास में भी मैंने आपको बताया था, continental convergence at the bottom of the Himalayas we will find the continental slab or continental plate of the width 70 kilometer. But in the previous classes we have studied that the continental plate has the width of 35 kilometer. So how comes the width has been doubled? Because in the continental convergence there is no subduction goes on. Why? Because mostly the density of the two plates are similar. It means there will be no subduction. So what will happen? There will be the process of abduction. This is subduction, this is abduction. So that's why 35 kilometer gives us 70 kilometer. So there is 70 kilometer width of the continental shelf below the Himalayas. Now as there is no subduction, it means no plate is going into astrosphere, no fragmentation, that's why no explosive activity. It means no volcanoes. But are there earthquakes? Yes, there are earthquakes in the Himalayas. Trans-Himalayas, yes, they are volcanic in nature. Why? Because we have some part of that is Geosync Line when these two plates are converging towards each other. मैंने आपको सारे एग्जांपल दे दिए, and hence I have also told you the formation of Himalayas. If in the UPSC mains exam this question will be asked to you that please describe the formation of Himalayas. So this is the whole महाभारत और रामायण of Himalayas. Understood? आज के लिए इतने रखते हैं। अगर मैं एक्चुअली हर एक छोटे से छोटा पॉइंट आपको बताना चाहता हूँ, क्योंकि नोट्स बहुत अच्छे बने हैं और आपको कहीं और जाने की ज़रूरत ना पड़े। इसी क्लासेस से स्लाइड से आपके पास सब चीज़ें A to Z ज्योग्राफी आपका ख़त्म हो जाए। आपको यहाँ से इसके बाद ना लूसेंट पढ़ने की ज़रूरत है, ना एक और होती है ना अपनी ज्योग्राफी की छोटी सी येलो सी बुक है, नाम भूल गया मैं उसका, ना जीसी लियोंग पढ़ने की ज़रूरत है, ना एनसीईआरटीज़ पढ़ने की ज़रूरत है। एवरीथिंग विल बी कवर्ड हेयर। सो जो भी मैं बोलता रहूँगा चीज़ें आई विल बी कवरिंग इन द नेक्स्ट क्लासेस। अनदर थिंग डेट टेथेस जियोसिंक लाइन है, कन्वर्जेंस है, इट मीन्स मोस्ट ऑफ द मेरीन population will get subducted into under these Himalayas. It means if we apply tremendous amount of pressure on a fossil, it will be get converted into petroleum or coal. That's why we have high probability that this is the bhandar. There will be the abundance of petroleum as well as coal deposits under the Himalayas. अंडरस्टूड। बट अगर पूरे हिमालयस को हमने तोड़ दिया तो दिक्कत हो जाएगी। क्यों? अभी हम आगे एयर, विंड्स इन सब में देखेंगे। सो दैट्स वाई वी हैव आवर फर्स्ट पेट्रोलियम रिफाइनरी इन दिग्बॉय असम। फर्स्ट कोल माइन कहाँ है? रानीगंज, वेस्ट बंगाल। सो ऑल दीज आर सम पार्ट ऑफ हिमालयाज ओनली। अंडरस्टूड? सो अभी तक आपको क्लासेस समझ में आ रही है। सो प्लीज़ लाइक दिस वीडियो, शेयर इट विद योर फ्रेंड्स एंड सब्सक्राइब टू अवर यूट्यूब चैनल। तब तक के लिए गुड बाय, जय हिंद।